Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Dakota, the place where we peel back the curtain on big business and find out what all those fancy financial documents actually mean. Today we're diving into a filing from GeoVax's Incorporated, a company working on vaccines and cancer therapies. Get ready because this report has a lot going on. From big government contracts to a whole lot of stock offerings, and hey, if these kinds of deep dives are your thing, make sure you are subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where you can connect with fellow corporate sleuths. Alright, let's cut to the chase. GeoVax is in the business of developing medical breakthroughs, and that means a lot of upfront investment before they see any real sales. We're talking about a net loss of, get this, almost $25 million in 2024. That is a huge chunk of change, and it follows a similar loss of nearly $26 million in 2023. This isn't uncommon for biotech companies, but it highlights how critical it is for them to secure funding. Now, where does the money come from to cover these massive costs? Well, in 2024, they brought in almost $4 million from a government contract. That is a significant jump from zero revenue in 2023. However, it is important to note that by early 2025, that government contract was terminated. This is a critical risk relying heavily on single sources of funding, especially government contract, which can be unpredictable. Looking at their cash situation, at the end of 2024, they had about $5.5 million. Fast forward to September 2025, and that number had dipped to just over $5 million. While it is not alarmingly low, it's a clear sign that they're burning through cash, and a substantial portion of that is going into research and development. Speaking of research and development, that is where the bulk of their expenses lie. In 2024, they spent almost $23.5 million on R&D. That is up from about $20.7 million the year before. This massive investment is in hopes of bringing their vaccine and immunotherapy candidates to market. We're talking about their COVID-19 vaccine, Geo, CMO4S1, their cancer therapy Gedeptin, and a vaccine for mpox and smallpox called GeoMVA. Their general and administrative expenses, which cover things like salaries for executives and legal costs, also saw some movement. They spent over $5.3 million in 2024, a slight decrease from 2023. But importantly, for the 9 months ending September 2025, these costs actually increased compared to the same period in 2024. This could be due to increased personnel or other corporate expenses as they move forward. Now, how have they been funding all of this? A major part of their story has been their frequent stock offerings. In 2024 alone, they raised over $21 million from selling common stock and warrants. And heading into 2025, they continued this trend, raising another nearly $8 million in the first quarter and over $5.5 million in July. It seems like they're constantly tapping the public markets for cash. This is a common strategy, but it comes with a significant consequence. This brings us to dilution. Every time they issue more stock, the ownership percentage of existing shareholders gets smaller. For new investors buying into their latest offering at $0.41 a share, the dilution is about $0.17 per share. This means they're paying more than the actual book value of what they're getting. And that value can shrink further with every new share issued. It is a constant tightrope for companies like GeoVax, needing cash but risking diluting its existing owners. And let's not forget about warrants. As of September 2025, there are over 40 million shares of common stock issuable upon the exercise of outstanding warrants. These warrants have an average exercise price of around $0.7. If a lot of these warrants get exercised, it could lead to even more dilution for shareholders. It's a complex web of potential future share issuances that investors need to keep a close eye on. Their common stock is traded on the Nasdaq under the ticker GeoVax. However, the stock price has been, to put it mildly, volatile. The filing mentions a closing price of $0.39 in December 2025, which is below $1. This price is a critical concern for Nasdaq compliance, and they've received deficiency letters regarding this. If they can't get the stock price back above $1, they could face delisting, which would be a major blow to their liquidity and investor confidence. Now for the big one, the auditor's opinion. Wipfli LLP, their independent auditors, have issued a significant warning, substantial doubt about the company's ability to continue as a going concern. This is a serious red flag. It means the auditors have real concerns about whether the company can stay in business for the next 12 months without additional funding. This directly ties back to their consistent losses and their reliance on ongoing financing. It underscores the high risk associated with investing in GeoVax right now. And the risks don't stop there. The filing dedicates pages and pages to risk factors, and it is a sobering read. They face intense competition, regulatory hurdles, the possibility of their products not being successful, and the constant need for capital. They don't have manufacturing or marketing experience, and even if their products get approved, There is no guarantee of market acceptance or sufficient reimbursement from insurance companies. It is a tough road ahead. So, what is the story here? GeoVax is a company with ambitious goals in the biotech space, tackling serious diseases with innovative technologies. They've managed to secure some government funding and conduct crucial clinical trials. However, the financial reality is stark. Substantial ongoing losses, a constant need for cash through stock offerings, and the looming threat of delisting from Nasdaq. The auditor's going concern warning is the most significant point, indicating serious financial fragility. In my opinion, GeoVax is a high-risk, potentially high-reward investment. Their scientific focus is on critical areas like infectious diseases and cancer, which always holds promise. However, the financial health and the path to profitability remain highly uncertain. The frequent stock offerings create significant dilution, which erodes shareholder value over time. The company's ability to secure ongoing funding, navigate regulatory approvals without a hitch, and ultimately achieve market acceptance for its products will be the true test. The risks are substantial, and any investment here should be made with extreme caution and an understanding of the possibility of losing your entire investment. Alright, that is our breakdown of GeoVax's latest filings. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. And remember to join our Discord community, linked in the description below, for more discussions and insights. Thanks for watching, see you next time.